What's up, guys? I'm here with my guy, Austin. That's right. Austin and I, give me some dab, brother. We've been working together since January. This guy has one of the craziest transformations I've seen in a long time. Appreciate that. I think what did you start at when you really started taking it super serious with your fitness journey?
My heaviest weight, I was like 220, 225.
When was that?
That was July of last year.
Okay.
And set a goal to have visible abs by my birthday, which was July 10th.
And did you get there?
And we did get there.
I freaking died.
I guess that. Good stuff. We in at 173, so that's like 50 pounds.
Holy cow, though. That's huge.
Yep.
So today we are just going to be going through a nice gritty workout. We're going to be using the Optimize app. No script, just raw grit.
Let's do it.
No fluff over here. Let's get gritty. All right, let's start on the Smith machine incline press. Your shoulders toasty?
I'm ready.
All right. For warm-up, guys, I normally keep it pretty simple. I don't do nothing too crazy, to be honest. Just kind of do some arm circles, get them nice and lubricated. All right. And then I like to personally jump pretty much right to the grit, but this should be, let's see how this feels. All right, that's too close to my face. Actually, that's bad a little bit. All right. Test this out, bro.
Good.
Oh, that one me not fuck the cake. What's up in my stomach? Where the bellow? There you go. Mary is late to get the rabbit to the ace. Did I suggest you? Then play to the chip that.
Solid, dude. Nice little warm up. Nice little warm up. There we go. All right. What weight do you think is going to get you in the gritty range?
You're gonna add a 25.
25? All right, let's go for it. I'm gonna add one too. All right, you see. Have you done this exercise on this machine before?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Whenever after the first gritty set, bro, it just wakes me up like a shot of espresso, bro. I know. Like that first set right in your failure.
Even like a 5-pound increment on this is like definitely you feel a big difference.
Yeah. This is one of those unique machines that you add a little bit of weight and it feels like a ton of weight.
Yeah.
Have you done this weight before?
Yeah, I think so. We're about to find out.
All right. Worst case scenario, we could do a little drop set if we needed to. But I'm gonna start.
No, I think I'm gonna hit it. Yeah, buddy.
That'll wake you up.
There it is.
So for you guys watching, remember the gritty reps are just those last 5 reps before failure. So a lot of people come in, they'll do a lot of reps that aren't actually that meaningful. So if you're doing a set to 12, for example, you're kind of just starting off pumping it out. It's really those ones at the end that matter in the first place. So our general strategy is we like to just cut as much of the fluff off as we can. Just get straight to the sauce.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Holy cow. You ready, dude? Oh. Yes, sir, dude. Nice. Good grit, dog. Yes, sir. Good push, bro. Oh. Help you with the last 2?
Yep.
All right. Push hard as you can. Good, bro. All the way to the chest. One more good one. Make it gritty. Finish that down. Holy cow, dude.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, sir, dude. Good stuff, broski. So that's kind of like the equivalent of doing a little drop set. Let's say this is the only time I ever recommend doing a little drop set. If you have somebody give you a tiny bit of help, that's kind of the same as stopping the set, taking off a tiny bit of weight, and then finishing. Same thing. It's just you're just making it a little less heavy by giving a little bit of support. But the only time I would ever recommend that is if you don't get all the way to 5, you get slightly short of 5, then you can do that to get to 5. Not get to 5 and then have somebody help you get to 6, 7, 8, or 9, and because then you should kind of overkill a little bit.
You might as well lower the weight at that point.
Yeah, exactly. All right, good stuff, dude. What? That was probably for me. Next set, let's add a 10 on top. I'll see if I can still do it. So awesome. When you were in July last year, 220 was you said that was your
25, yeah.
25. Yeah. Was there like a moment when you were like, damn, I gotta get it right? Like this is like,
yeah, I was in Mexico and I had like snuck away I was with my wife and my son, and I had like snuck away to go play some blackjack. And then which first of all was an issue, because I'm like, I'm gonna go party, I'm gonna leave the family at home, I'm gonna go party today. We're gonna like villa, yeah, by yourself. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm gonna run it up on the blackjack table before dinner. Then we go to the dinner and run up some crazy bill. And I remember we were like completely like gluttonous, like eating, like it was honestly disgusting, the amount of food that we were eating. And I don't know what it was, but at that
like healthy food, or it was just like, what?
No, it was like whatever we wanted. Yeah, whatever we wanted. Yeah. And I remember the server came by and she's like, man, I had never seen people eat like this before. And in the moment, I was under the influence, so I was like, didn't realize it until the next day. You wake up and you're like, oh crap, like I'm like really deep in this right now. So then I look at myself in the mirror and I'm like, at a certain point, I gotta be a reflection to my son, right? And you know, what do I want to portray to him? Do I want him to grow up to be like that, or you know, what do I want him to grow up to be? So
how old was he at the time?
He was 2.
Nice.
So he turns 3 in August. So yeah, he's like, but they're sponges from day one.
Yeah.
So I'm like, at that point, I just knew I had to make a change. And plus, I didn't like the way I looked in the mirror. So,
yeah,
you know, I just had to make that decision for myself.
I needed like thinking about it for a while, and that moment, that was like, was it like, okay, like that was the threshold? It was like, okay.
Yeah, like I think through the pregnancy, like I just ate, because when my wife was pregnant, she just was eating, right? Because she's pregnant. I ate with her and ate whatever I wanted. And I wasn't really like active at the time either. So, you know, I gained the weight, and then just like all the other bad habits came with that, you know, drinking alcohol and that. And I don't drink anymore. My diet is like super dialed in, but you know, it just became, I was consistently doing the wrong things, and then made the decision to consistently do the right things. And you know, there's no cheat code. It just, that is what it is.
Wow.
You know?
So you were following the short-term pleasure for so long.
Oh yeah.
It feels good in the moment. Get that dopamine rush when you're doing stuff like gambling, just eating like whatever you want. Like, yeah, it feels good. But now
being a strict glutton.
How does it feel like prioritizing like long-term pleasure now, right? For context, guys, Austin is 58 days into 75 pars.
Yeah.
Right? So 75 part is like a complete commitment to yourself of a lifestyle change, because you're only eating nutritious food and you are doing cardio and a gym workout every day, and you're reading every day. So you're expanding your mind and your body. How does it feel prioritizing not just like the short-term pleasure, but like short-term pain for long-term gain?
Yeah, I mean, it's like it's a night and day difference. It's not even close. Like, but you know, I didn't realize how like crappy I felt when I was in that, you know, rut of doing like the bad habits, until where I'm at now, 58 days into 75 hard, and doing things that are gonna, you know, benefit me in the long run. Not only my health, to live a longer life, to be here and see, you know, my son grow up and go through things, but just more energy to play with him. And you know, I'd come home at the end of the night and I just want to like sit on the couch and eat a bag of chips and play video games or whatever. And now it's like I'm waking up super early with him, running around, kicking a soccer ball, and then when I get home, I still have energy, you know? So that's really like the energy shift is crazy. Like, it's completely unmatched to where it was 12 months ago to where I am now. So wow, it's like, you know, even when we're just talking about this, even when 75 hard is over, you know, that was a true commitment to myself. And now it's like, that's such a habit of mine that there's no reason for me to stop those habits when I hit day 75.
It's great.
You know?
People think that. They'll think like, oh, I'll just do this challenge, and I'm just gonna like do these habits, and then that'll be it. Like, I have to do it. Like, it's like some chore I'm gonna do, and then I can go back to normal. Like, but then you realize that once you do the habits for long enough, they just become a part of your identity. And it's like, I wouldn't even want to go back, because I'm just so used to it. I love seeing the fruits. I love seeing how it's just changing my energy, how I look, how I feel about myself. And why would I want to go back to those habits?
Right. Yeah. And it's like, you know, I look at the pictures of myself and I sent them to you of where I was on that Mexico trip. Like, I have pictures from that Mexico trip versus you know, now, and it's like, why would I ever want to look like that ever again? Like, you know, it's just, yeah, you just.
That's crazy. What's crazy to me is like the fact that when you were even at your worst, like you're so blind to it at the time because it becomes so accustomed to like the bad habits. You don't even always realize like, wow, this is such a pressing problem, or you don't realize exactly what the opportunity is going to be like on the other side until you actually experience it. And now you realize like, damn, like I can't believe I'll let myself get to that. It's so much better on the other side.
Yeah,
you know.
Well, yeah, and I look back at myself and I'm like, I look down on that, not down on that person, but it's like, you know, I almost am like, dude, that guy was a loser. Like, you know, it's like going out drinking and gambling when he's got his family at home. Like, dude, it's like, I don't want to be a loser. You know what I mean? So now it's like, you know, he's running around. I'll come home and he's like, wants to work out with me, do push-ups and stuff like that.
So cool, bro.
It's just much more fun.
It's funny how little kids will literally copy you, like,
dude, monkey see, monkey do.
That's hilarious.
They really are.
All right, let's get to the gritty set.
Let's do it.
People, you're not in an argument, you ain't. Who I'm staying low in that area. And
wow. I feel like I just did 4 sets in one, bro. Holy cow. All right, let's lower the weight.
Let's do
10 and a 5 instead of. All right.
Might have been a little too gritty.
Yeah, that'll happen, man. So ideally, guys, you want to pick a weight that you can get to failure right at like 5, 6, or 7. 5 is like if you want to be as efficient as possible. 6 or 7 if you just want to be a little bit suboptimal, but still got a little bit, couple more reps in. So let's see. Let's get it, broski. Gritty time. Yes, sir, dude. Yes, sir, bro. Hard as you can, every rep. Good push. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sir, good. Push through that grit. Grit that shit. Yes, sir, dude. Nice. There it is. Nice. What's up, dude? All right. That's it, guys. 2 gritty sets on the chest. You always want to make sure you track that weight. So we got 45. I did a 45, a 25, and a 10 on each side. So what's that?
160.
Yeah, 160. All right. Let's move on. Let's go to the cables. Follow me, guys. Oh, it's being taken. All right. We'll go do a different exercise and then we'll come back. All right. All right, guys, now we're going for our line cable curl. So I generally today, like we're doing upper body. We're not just gonna like spam the chest like crazy, get like all this fatigue. We're gonna like bounce around to different muscle groups. So we did 2 gritty sets on the chest. Now we're gonna go for 2 gritty sets on the biceps. This is one of our favorite exercises because it's so stable. You're so locked in that you can literally just pull as hard as you can. And just only thing you have to think about is just training the bicep. So generally we like to pick exercises that we don't have to think about anything except training the muscle. That helps us just be able to get it as gritty as possible. So that's what we're going for. Holy grit. This should be fun. You ready, dude?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, this should be solid for you.
Ooh, yeah.
Yes, sir, dude. Yes, sir. Huh? Nice, officer. Good shit, bro. Curl that shit. Yes, sir. Good gritty ass rep, bro. Curl. Yes, sir. That's gritty territory. One more, dog. The Levi. No.
Here's a little assistance on that last one.
I heard a hilarious thing that I saw this on like Instagram, but somebody's like, if your purpose is bigger than yourself, you will channel in like supernatural energy. So like there was a guy that was running a race and he was like doing okay. And then his coach pulled him aside and he said, do this for your kids. And like, he just like channeled in like some supernatural strength. Oh yeah, blew his records out of the water.
Dude, that's that dad strength.
Yeah. It's like when you think like, okay, I gotta get fit, and like, it's not even just for me. Like this under my son, this for my legacy.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
all the bad thoughts go out the window once your why is greater. It's like, there's no way you're not gonna succeed if your why is great enough.
yeah.
You know? It's just, you won't let yourself fail.
Yeah.
You won't.
I love that. What better motivator than literally your kids?
Dude.
And you have a second kid on the way. Is that going on the way? That's right. Dude, let's go. All right. That was pretty freaking gritty. That was 6. All right, I'm gonna go off a tiny bit. You go. Around 99. See how this feels.
Oh yeah.
Nice. Holy cow.
That was super gritty.
Yeah, that's how I stay so motivated, bro, because it's not just for me, it's for the optimized island, dude.
I was just gonna say that. Dude, you think about the island, dog.
Yeah, think about how much fun everyone's gonna have on the island.
Yeah.
Dude, kid,
Dude, all the Whole Foods.
bro, all the whole boot.
All the Whole Foods.
That's why I think like a lot of people struggle to stay motivated. They never actually like envision a purpose and why they should do it. And the only reason is like in their mind is like a lot of them are just, you'll never be motivated if you just are comfortable with where you're at. It takes like having something, right?
Well, that's another thing too, is like motivation is super temporary. So you gotta find something greater than just being motivated.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like, I can watch, a David Goggins video and I'm gonna be super hyped up, but how long is it gonna last, right? That motivation, that's not gonna give me a reason to continuously succeed.
Yeah, it's gotta be like a real, genuine, like 100%, and not just like a feeling.
Yeah, it's like you take goals away. There's no goals anymore. You make promises to yourself, not goals.
I love that.
These goals are BS. People make goals all the time. They want things, but
Yeah.
without a clear timeline of when you're gonna get there, like we set a timeline of July 10th, which was my birthday, right? Without a clear timeline and a game plan, you're never gonna get there. And then when you have a reason why you're doing it, that's greater than just the David Goggins video.
Yeah.
Dude, again, you can't fail.
What I love is I was talking to you last week and you said something like, for me, it's like I don't even need to track it every single day or like be super goal oriented around it. Like now it's just like a commitment to like a new lifestyle and like a new version of you.
Yeah, in the beginning for sure. It's like, I shouldn't even say in the beginning, probably for like the first until I started 75 hard, everything I was like super tracked and dialed. And then once I hit like day 45 of 75 hard, eating literally the same food every single day, staying consistent on my diet and consistent on my workouts, it was just like, now it's habitual. It's not forced anymore, So yeah, just the more you do it, the easier it gets.
Yeah, I love that. And I like that approach where it's like, this is just the new version of me. I'm going to do what the new version of me does. So there's no pressure of like, oh, okay, I need to really make sure I'm increasing X amount. Like I got to get to this weight on bench or like a lot. Like if you ask any fit person, like most people are not like setting some goals. Yeah. If you ask like some random guy that's super fit in the gym, yeah, oh, like you like working on a goal right now? He's probably like, no, like this is just kind of like what I do. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I like that you kind of take that approach where it was like, yeah, it's becoming Austin 2.0.
Yeah, it makes it more fun. You just like, it's not that you take the hard work out of it, because no matter what, staying consistent in the gym is hard work, but it just takes like at least for me personally, I can't speak for everybody, but it's just like, it's more fun. Just like at a certain point, you just do your habits, you go in, lift as heavy as you can, you're gonna get stronger.
Yeah, more sustainable too.
Yeah, exactly.
I think a lot of people fall off because they put so much pressure on it that has to be a goal. Like I gotta get to this thing. Right. They might even like put in the work and get there, but it was such a chore for them that they'll go right back. Correct. When you take that approach where it's like, I'm just gonna be patient, I'm just gonna stick to the habits, enjoy the process, then the more time that passes, you just keep improving.
Yeah, exactly. And the next thing you know, you look in the mirror and you're not 220 anymore.
Yeah. But how does that feel to like literally see your body now like so drastically different?
That's another thing too. It's like, you know, I can take my shirt off and be someone that I'm proud of versus being like, you know, I don't really feel like taking my shirt off today. You know, it's just, you can take a shirt off. It's not even to be like vain. It's just like, you know, it's just, you want to look good, you want to feel good, and that's all it's about, you know?
It feels great, like actually knowing like, man, I'm being my best self. Like I'm not like just like, you know, living up to half my potential. I'm like, you know what I mean? Actually try at my best and make progress. How did it feel to like see your six pack in the mirror for the first time? Dude, it was great.
And hey, look, dude, my wife would love me either way, whether I'm 220 or 170 or whatever my scale weight says. But, you know, everyone has their preferences. So it's like, which one would she prefer? Would she prefer me to be fit, or would she prefer me to have big old fat love handles?
Yeah.
You know, so
100%, dude. I can't see any reason why anybody would prefer you to be chunky than not chunky.
yeah,
The only reason like somebody would say that is like there would be like trying to not hurt your feelings.
Yeah.
But I bet if you asked her now, like, hey, like Isabel, like, how'd you feel like when I was 220 compared to now? Have you asked her that before?
I mean, she loves it, of course.
Yeah, she loves it. But she won't even say it like a year ago. But now
Right.
she's gone through the transformation.
Yeah, she might like hint at certain things, like, you know, oh, should you eat that? And it's so funny because even at that time, I was like, yeah, I don't eat that bad. Like, you know, I like, you know, every once in a while I'll eat like garbage food, but you know, for the most of the time, I eat pretty good. And now that I actually like track what I eat, it's like, no, dude, every meal that I had was complete garbage. It was like my portions were completely out of control. And it's just funny because like the mindset back then was like, yeah, I don't eat that bad. But like your
mind will literally play tricks on you, to keep you safe and stuck, and to like make it feel not as bad as it is. It's crazy, bro. That's insane. One thing I was curious about that I wanted to ask you is how did like auditing your environment, like the types of people you surround yourself with, the types of things that you feed your mind with, like I know you read the Bible a lot now, and how did that help you just like being aware of, oh, I know like on Instagram you follow a lot of accounts that are like pretty good values of like people with good physique and stuff.
That's a good point, because that's one of the first things that I did too was clean out my social media, you know, any sort of garbage, even if it's just like, you know, dumb videos that you're gonna like scroll and you keep scrolling and it just like, it rots your mind. It really does. Versus filling myself with, if I am going to look at content, looking at stuff that's gonna, you know, continuously motivate me and I can like, you know, see other people that are really fit and I can be like, you know, strive to look like that or grow like that, you know, and it's like how you do, right? Like you have your vision board, you know exactly where you're going and you've already envisioned that for yourself. Like you have, you know, 0% chance of failure because that you've already embodied Optimize Island. Like you're already there in your mind. So, you know, eventually, you know, you change yourself on the inside and your surroundings will change, right? And it's like, however you envision yourself, that's what your lifestyle is going to be. So it's funny because when I started 75 Hard, I sent the invite to do 75 Hard to like 7 or 8 of my peers. And I had 6 people were like, yeah, I'm not doing it. And then one of my friends was like, yeah, I got you. I'll do it with you. And then a weekend, you know, basically had not heard. I was like, hey, bro, how's 75 Hard going? And, you know, it didn't even start. Yeah, it didn't even start. Just cricket.
Yeah.
So a lot of the journey, you do it on your own. That's why when you say you need a greater why or you need a greater purpose, whatever yours is for yourself, you have to. Because eventually you'll meet people like how we met. You came up to me and, you know, pushed me to, you know, grow in my journey a lot faster and a lot harder, you know, but I put myself in those situations and in those positions to meet those sort of people that are going to push you to grow. It's like, okay, are you hanging out in the gym and at places where fit people are and where you want to grow? Or are you hanging out in bars and, you know, places that are going to take you down a different path?
So true.
So you're going to attract those people. You just have to put yourself in those situations. You create your own destiny, you create your own luck. So
it's, you know, crazy because I bet if you ask somebody that's like going to bars all the time, like, oh, like, how's your mindset? Well, oh, my mindset fine. Like the only reason I'm not fit is because I just get a little lazy. Like I don't need, you know, I don't want to be all or nothing. I don't want to be too extreme. Like, but my mindset's good. Yeah. But then if you like look at, hey, what are they actually putting in their mind? Like they're not surrounding themselves with people that are actually pushing them to grow. They're probably, like you said, just scrolling like a bunch of garbage, putting a bunch of garbage in their mind. But it's like, it's hard to be conscious of that until you actually like get to the other side and you realize that just by auditing everything that you put in your mind will, and like you said, changing your inner world.
yeah,
It literally, you are in control of your destiny.
Sure.
You cannot, I give you like, anybody that's watching this, I give you a challenge. Like if for an entire week, you just stop hanging out with anybody that was, you know, not where you want to be, like people that are out of shape, people that have bad habits, and you stop feeding your mind with like garbage things, like just watching trash TV, just like doom scrolling on social media for 1 week. You didn't do that, and you just wrote on a piece of paper, hey, here are all the qualities of myself that I would like to have. I would like to have a great body. I would like to be in a great relationship. I would like to feel super motivated when I wake up. I like to feel more grateful. And just for a week, you just started reading what you wrote on that paper, and you just started thinking of yourself already having those things. I guarantee you, after a week, you would never want to go back, because you would notice how just changing your attitude and by reading those things all the time, you would actually start seeing changes in your reality. It's pretty insane, but this is, guys, like living testimony that is so true, because even now, like the energy that Austin brings compared to even when I met him in January, and then especially after like seeing his pictures from July, it's like night and day. So it's a complete transformation that starts like in your inner world, but then as you do the habits and you do the things that version of you in your mind does, then it just solidifies into just like you just build so much momentum that there's like no going back.
Yeah, dude. So true. So true.
Good stuff, dude. All right, let's get another gritty set on here.
Let's do it.
All right, you ready?
Oh, yeah.
Let's go, dude. Yes, sir, dude. Grit that challenge. Yes, sir. Good grit, Austin. Good. Curl hard as you can. Good curl. Finish that. Holy grit. Oh my gosh, that might be failure, dude. All right, good try. All right, let me do a slight drop set. I see me at 2 more. Bro, I definitely created a lot of fatigue. Yeah, that's fair. All right, good job.
All right.
We got the 5.
Oh, yeah.
8, 4, and 1.
That was super great.
Good job, dude. Generally, whenever I get to rep that, it's like you're fighting it for that long. I mean, when you're on camera, you gotta keep fighting it. Generally, like that rep, I normally just say, all right, let it rock. Like, yeah, one's gonna be too hard. I could have let it go. Give that rep creates more fatigue than like a normal gritty rep. Like you create a lot of fatigue, but it was so good, bro. That would have been one of those. I was like one of those dudes that like catch a marlin and then he's like fighting the marlin. Yeah. That was like that rep.
Exactly.
All right, I'm gonna see if I can get 5 here. Ow. Let's go. So guys, when you're doing the grit method, you're doing the gritty reps, you gotta make sure that you're resting enough time in between sets. So because these sets are so intense, they're so high quality, you gotta take enough time so that you can produce that same amount of output in each set that you do, right? So I always say like if building muscle was like cutting through a steak, if you were just taking a very short amount of rest, it'd be kind of like using a butter knife. You'll do a lot, but each thing that you do won't be as effective because the knife is more goal. Whereas when you take a long enough rest and you're training your failure, right? Focusing on those last 5 reps, doing more stable movement, it's kind of like using a steak knife, right? So you can make more progress for each thing that you do, get more bang for your buck, make a nice deep cut in the steak just because the knife is so sharp. It's more effective. All right, that's it on the biceps, dude. Good shit.
I don't even think I could, even if I wanted to after that one.
Yeah, bro. That was extremely gritty.
Yeah.
All right, let's go for a seated cable flies. All right, guys, we're just waiting for this cable setup. Sometimes that's gonna happen. You might have to wait for a machine. Generally, when that happens, you have a couple options. One, just, oh, thanks, Matt. Just open up. But in that case, you could sometimes just go to a different exercise on your program. But sometimes use that as an opportunity. Talk to somebody in the gym, right? Meet people. The more fit people you know, the easier it is to just feel like, okay, I found my tribe. Like I'm in, right? A lot of it is like you want to feel like you're a part of the community. You don't want to feel like the outsider. So get to know people. Like whenever you see a fit person, one of the worst things you can do is feel resentment towards them. Feel like, oh, like they're different than me. Like, oh, they're cocky. They're selfish. I don't want to be like that. They're vain, right? I'm not going to go up and be friendly with them. Whenever you see somebody that has a result that you want, like a great body, you always want to bless them. Be like, you know what? That person probably did a lot of work, went through a transformation. I really respect that person. Get to know them. Like fit people want to help people that aren't fit. No fit person is just like, oh, no, stay down where you are. I'm gonna be fit. It's not how it works, okay? So if you have that story, it's literally just something you're fabricating in your own mind. I guarantee you, you text the 10 most fit people you know right now, say, hey, I'm going on a body transformation. Please keep me accountable. I'm planning on setting new habits, reprogramming my mind, and in 6 months, I'm committing to looking completely different. Check in with me here and there, and I'm committed to making this identity shift. I guarantee you, if you do that, they're all gonna be like, I support you, and it's gonna really help you. But if you just try to go on like this solo journey, I'm gonna prove everybody wrong, it's gonna be a lot harder. Does that line up with your transformation?
Or just like make a post. Like don't be afraid to make a post about what your goals are and what your plans are, because you'll find out people that are fit in your life that you didn't even know, go to the gym all the time, or like someone that you used to know like 5, 6, 7 years ago, and they'll come out of the woodworks and be like, I'm rooting for you, bro.
Yeah.
I'm rooting for you.
That helps. That's just added accountability. That's why I tell everybody about the Optimized Island, even if it's in 30 years. I make it so known, one, because I think it's just cool and inspiring, but two, it keeps me accountable. The more people I tell my goals about, the more I'm just going to feel internally like committed to actually making them reality. A lot of people are like, oh, I don't want to share my goals because then it won't become real. I think it's the opposite. I think the more you tell people about your goals, the more real it actually becomes, you know?
100%. You keep yourself accountable that way.
Yeah. All right, dude, let's go for a line cable lateral raise.
Let's do it.
All right, let's get it, dude. And put this over here.
Oops.
All right, I want to grab a couple of D handles.
Yeah.
Do it like this.
You go through both?
Huh?
You go through both or just...
Yeah, we can go through both. All right, guys, we're going for our line cable lateral raise. This personally is one of my favorite ways to target the medial delt, side of the shoulder. A lot of guys, you see them doing the dumbbell lateral raise. Thing is with the dumbbells, yes, they're pretty fun, but it's really hard to get gritty because kind of when you get near failure, it just like gets a little swingy. It's really hard to like grit it up, you know what I mean? But like when you're doing this exercise where you're lying here like this, and you'll notice it's a way easier to make it do the gritty dance, right? See how slow and gritty that is? That's what we like. That grit is the magic sauce for muscle growth. All right, you ready, my G?
Let's do it.
Let's start you on this guy.
Let's do it.
Yes, sir, dude. One. All right, not gritty enough. So if that ever happens, guys, if you ever pick a weight and it's a little too light, don't just keep going and then do like 10 or 12. Just like stop early, increase the weight a little bit, and then you can get it back in the gritty zone.
Let's do it.
Right. Yeah, there it is. That's that gritty dance that we like. Yes, sir, dude. Nice, bro. Boom. Nice, Austin. One more. Yes, sir. Good freaking grit, dog. Oh, shit. Yes, sir, dude. Stop.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna go to the 60. But one thing I was gonna ask you, Austin, because I know we were just talking about this a little bit. So like back in July, right, you were eating out, sounds like a lot more.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes being a little gluttonous, just like
Very.
whatever.
Not a little.
Wanted. How did you kind of reframe how you think about food and how, you know, I know like how your transformation in the gym went, but how did kind of like your nutrition transformation go?
So the nutrition transformation was harder for sure. Because what I started originally was I just would like, okay, let me cut out processed foods, or you see a lot on social media like, oh, seed oils are bad and stuff like this, which I'm not saying they're not, but actually like getting to the goals that I wanted to didn't start until I actually really started like tracking my macros like really hard, like understanding like, okay, what is my base metabolic rate? Like how much am I burning regularly? How can I increase that to get to, how can I burn like 3,000 calories a day to actually lose this and still, you know, and how can I get in a deficit and not lose muscle? So
did you work on increasing your basal metabolic rate?
Yeah, so
how'd you go about that?
not even really just increasing my basal metabolic rate, but just like, you know, getting more active, getting 10,000 steps a day in, so that way, you know, with my, you know, active calories, I could get up to burning, you know, 2,800 or 3,000 a day. So that way, no matter what, I was in a deficit. And then really just started to track my food and not look at food as pleasure anymore, you know, because, you know, I would sprinkle in like one cheat meal meal, but then I even abused that, right? In the beginning, I would abuse my one cheat meal as like a cheat day. Like, oh, it's my cheat day, so I can eat this. And then all day, now you're just making up for like all the gains that you would have made or all the deficit that you made those other 6 days.
You're just counteracting it.
Yeah, now you just ate like a 2,000 calorie surplus in one day and you counteract it. So, you know, that was when really when I started like tracking really hardcore, like what I was eating and weighing out all of my food. You know, it's not to say that you have to do that. That's just what worked for me. And, you know, I think that it made it easy for me, right? Knowing like, okay, if I'm going to burn 2,800 calories and I need to, you know, be in a 500 calorie deficit to lose a pound or 1,000 calorie deficit to lose 2, you know, it's just how fatigued do I want to feel, you know? Because when you're in that much of a deficit, just getting the lifts in is tough, for sure. So,
But what about for guys that like try tracking and then it's really hard for them to stick to? What helped you actually be able to stick to your tracking? And
I think that again, like setting that date for me of like wanting to have visible abs and getting to a certain weight by a certain day helped me, you know exactly what I needed to eat. And then once all I did is instead of starting to like track it every single day and switching up my meals and not knowing what I'm gonna do, you know, I got so habitual in eating the same food.
you already knew it was in alignment with your potato.
Exactly. And then another easy thing to do too that helped was instead of tracking my calories daily is knowing what your intake was for the week and knowing how much you burned for the week, because then I could, you know like, okay, if I went, you know, 100 calories over one day, I can make it up the next or whatever. And then in the week, if I was in a deficit of, you know, 2,500 calories or 2,000 calorie deficit for that week, then I'm good, right? But yeah, I mean, it's definitely not easy. It just takes a lot of hard work and consistency to track. I think it just depends on what your goals are too, right? So if you just want to feel good, look good, I don't think it's as important to like track.
Maniacal about it.
Yeah, exactly. But
you know, it sounds like once you tracked it for a while, then you kind of had the habits already built, and now it's easier to, you can just kind of go stick with the habits.
yeah, and I, you know, a lot of it I can like kind of eyeball, but I still do track my food. I find enjoyment in it. So, you know, it's easy for me to sit there and like weigh it out to the gram because I find enjoyment in it.
What do you find enjoyable about that, out of curiosity?
I don't know. It's just because like, it's just so like, I know for a fact, for me at least, like it gives me gratification knowing that I didn't go over and I'm not like outside of my parameters, outside of my, like I'm sticking to my commitment to myself.
Yeah.
And even if I don't have to do it that way, for me personally, that helps me know that I'm committed to myself.
I love
knowing that, hey, if I need 180 grams of chicken, I didn't need 181 grams.
Yeah.
I ate 180 grams.
How does it feel finishing a meal and knowing like that was a perfect meal in alignment with your goals?
It's super gratifying. And plus when I can like type it into ChatGPT sometimes and ChatGPT's like you're spot on perfect today.
Yeah, that's great, dude. AI, that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah, I know.
But I wanted to point out what you said is because here's something I learned is like human beings, we like to do things that feel good. Like it's just a part of our nature. We like to repeat behaviors that bring us pleasure. So when you can find pleasure from sticking to your meal perfectly, right, like that's a pleasure that you like wants to be reinforced. So it's like we like to do things that feel good. So it's like, which kind of good am I going to pursue? Am I going to just pursue the good of, oh, this just tastes good, or do I want to pursue the good of, hey, this feels great because it's gratifying because it's aligned with our goals? People that are fit, successful, you know, fulfilled, they tend to pursue that feeling of good that is after they finish the activity. How did that make them feel? That gratifying kind of good, not just like the dopamine good. So it's just something I've been realizing. The more people I've just been like coaching and the more I'm on my own growth journey, the more you can just choose that good of after the activity rather than before, the more you're serving your future self today.
You're 100% spot on.
Gritty time, dude.
Let's get it.
Oh yeah.
Holy cow, dude. Gritty.
All right. I guess be excited to hit another set.
Yeah, dude. But you want to go back to the 50?
Yeah.
Definitely feel that in my shoulders. Hey.
I kind of want to try to hit the 60.
You want to go for it, dude?
Yeah, why not?
You can always do a drop set.
Yeah, why not? See, now I'm carving up a little bit more, so I feel I feel
More energized.
so much more energy, especially in the gym.
That's great, bro.
That was the one thing in the deficit that was pretty tough. Especially when I started 75 hard, I was like 1,000 calories a day deficit. So my lifts were like super hard work. It didn't feel fun. That was hard work.
You're right. All right, let's hit the ice. Let's get it, bro. Nope, too gritty. Too gritty. Got it.
50's that number there.
Yeah, this is one of those machines that one notch is like make a huge jump. Yeah. Yes, sir, dude. Yes, sir, dude. Good grip. Ooh, get that shit. Sir. Good job, dude. Oh, yeah. Good shit, bro.
Feels good.
All right.
It feels super good.
So, do you think somebody has to do 75 hard? How much of a benefit do you feel like it is to like really be like, okay, I'm not just gonna like keep trying, but I'm gonna like go all in. Like I'm gonna set a date. I'm gonna like really commit to like transforming. Do you think that's a necessity? How helpful was it actually having that all in kind of mindset rather than being like 1 foot in, 1 foot out?
I think having a date, without a date, for me personally, I wouldn't get there without a date. That's why it's like, I hit my July 10th date and I hit my goal. And now I can see myself kind of being like, okay, now where do I go? What's my next goal like? And almost like floating. And it's like, okay, well, I did that. I hit my goal, but I didn't set another goal yet. So it's like, I'm kind of just going and doing the same things, which is good.
Yeah.
But
you need to recalibrate now.
100% need to recalibrate, because if I want to get, I've reached another level from where I was. The only way that I'm going to get to the next level after this is doing the same thing and setting another goal for myself with a solidified date.
Yeah.
Because it's extreme accountability when you have a date set.
Yeah.
And you not only have a date set, but like you said, you let the 4 or 5 people around you know that you have a date in mind.
Yeah.
Right? That's extreme accountability at that point, because you know that if you get to that date and you didn't reach that goal, not only are you failing yourself, but you're failing those 5 people that you told that you're going to do it to.
True, bro.
So it's like, how are they going to look at you now?
So what's stopping you right now from just setting another goalpost? Oh, yeah, I want to have my lower abs chiseled.
I know that's
by the end of the year.
That's the next thing. See, I don't know, because now I'm trying to put a little more size on. So
yeah,
now I'm like, okay, do I keep cutting and keep staying in this deficit, or do I put some size on and then try to bulk a little bit more lean? So that's my goal, but I need a real goal, because again, that's just like, it's like we were talking about 5 seconds ago. I know what I want next. Like I want to grow and I want to build lean muscle and I want to put on size, but right now I don't have a clear, concise plan to get there. So
yeah,
that's when you start doing those like micro failures that lead up to the massive failure of not reaching your goal. So that's why I need to, and even though I'm on 75 hard, I'm not allowing myself to do that. But what happens when August 1st hits and 75 hard is over?
I think now it's time to recalibrate.
Yeah, and I don't,
be even bigger.
Yeah, and I don't have like a real goal set. So that's what I need to do now. You're putting me on the money too, because you're making me think. I'm like, yeah, you're so right.
Like the little complacency is the silent killer.
Yeah.
You don't realize they'd be like, oh, like I guess I'll go through this period, just kind of main gain, coast a little bit. But the minute you coast is the minute if you're not moving forward, you're moving backward.
100%.
I mean,
yeah, dude, you're 100% right. That's 100% facts.
That's why it's just the commitment to just grow, just being the best Austin you could possibly be. There's never gonna be a point where you're like, oh, I finally made it. Now I can rest. Like never. I was like, the day you die is the day you want to be like, all right, now then rest. Like optimize self. Yeah, right. I can finally rest. I won't rest on my death, but let's go. But you can be watching that and think, what? That's so extreme. But when you've experienced like the life of stagnating, like not being your best, you just know how much better the alternative is. I wouldn't want to just take a week off and rest. Like I love growing and being my best version of myself because I've experienced the other end of the spectrum. So I'm not like, I know what I'm missing out on. I know this is so much better. I know how much better this makes me feel about myself, right? So it's like, it's a no-brainer.
Yep.
I want to share this with you, bro. So I carry around this piece of paper. Basically, I have like a vision of like my next version of me. I call him like Prosperous Jacob. So like I visualize them, and I write down all the things that he does. So like works out twice a day, he meditates, he connects to his vision, he reads, he posts content every day, he spends money on ads every day, and he reaches out to people, like 100 different people every day. So I've been reading this piece of paper every day. I'm like, I am prosperous Jacob. I do these things. I will not fail. And if I fail, I have to run 40 miles in the heat. So like I'm making these states for myself, right? And I read it all the time, imprinting it into my mind. And this is just such an effective strategy to one, reprogram your mind, recalibrate that goalpost that we're talking about. Because you gotta change your standards. Once you have one goal, you have to reset and go a little higher, right?
I love it.
Crazy, just
I love it.
I'm thinking about implementing this for all the optimists.
Dude, 100%. If you're not following this guy, then you're missing out. Okay. He is 100% not going to fail. He's going to make it. He's going to get there. So
Thank you, Best.
he's doing all the things that you need to. So
Well, shoot, I'm gonna need you on the optimized island, but you'll be the first one there, bro. Get a nice sturdy lifting together.
love it.
All right, my turn.
Yep.
All right, last set on here.
Let's go.
All right, nice. All right. Whew, what is that? Good stuff, dude. All right, guys, now we're on the seated cable fly. This is a fun exercise. Not the most stable and the most optimal, but sometimes I sprinkle in exercises that aren't always the perfect exercise just because they're fun. So, you didn't hear that from me, but I do that.
You gotta have fun.
All right, let's see. So basically, guys, we're just going right here. Yeah, this should be solid. You want to go first, bro?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Gritty time, broski. How's that weight? Nice. Nice, bro. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah. Nice. Nice. Good job. Did that feel a little weird to you? Like, did you feel some pain on your wrist from that, or did it feel comfy?
From it hitting a little bit.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like,
Okay, I'm curious how much. Did that, like, make you stop earlier than you otherwise would have been?
I probably could have gone a little heavier, yeah.
If it was without this? Like, without the pain in the wrist? Or did that contribute? Like, do you... No, not really. Okay, all right. Just want to... All right, let's go. We're going to put it at put it at 110 for me, bro. We're going to put that one at 110?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This gives you a good chest pump, though.
Yeah. All right, let's get it.
It is.
Dang. Oh, I'm starting to feel that gritty fatigue, bro. All right, let me see.
What did I hit? Like?
You did 80.
Let's bump it up to 90.
90? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think this is the most optimal handle, by the way. I feel like
Yeah, it digs in, right?
it digs in it just a tiny bit.
I mean, we can switch it up. We can just go to this one.
Yeah, let's just try this one. All right.
Let's put it on the close one so that way. Yeah.
All right. I wish there was one that was like a little... Oh, you know what? Order, bro? Put it like this.
Oh, I know you're. Yeah, put it around the.
Yeah, here we go. Yeah, got it.
You put it here?
Yeah. So, guys, what happened was this was like too long that we wouldn't be able to get the full range of motion. But then we just put it in here like that. So that will make it better. Maybe if you go to the gym, that's happened to you before. Comment below if that's ever happened to you.
Sometimes you gotta optimize.
Yes, and then you gotta make it a little bit more optimal.
Yeah.
I see if this feels better, dude. Just sir, dude.
Yeah.
Feel better?
Yeah.
Sir, dude. Nice. Yes, sir. Dude. Nice. Good grit, dog. Oh, yeah. Right. Oh. Good shit. Right near failure?
Oh yeah, definitely.
So one thing I was gonna ask you too, Austin, so do you feel like, let's say you weren't doing cardio. Hey Chris, how you doing, man? Let's say you weren't doing cardio and nutrition and training. You feel like you could have created the transformation that you created? Or did it take actually doing all three to really start seeing the change?
It definitely took a combination of the three, because when I first decided to make the change, I was like kind of consistent, because I started my journey in July, and then we met like December, January.
Yeah.
So I was like kind of getting in the gym, maybe like 2 times a week, 3 times a week, but no like clear plan of when I get there. Just doing like, you know, regular like bro split, buys and tries, back and buys, and
Yeah.
you know.
Did you see any progress during those first few months? Just kind of going in a couple of times a week?
Not really like muscle growth, but I originally just like cleaned up my diet, and I definitely saw, you know, immediate effects of that, because I wasn't eating like crappy processed food all the time.
So just from diet alone and a little bit of training, you went from 225 to what?
I was probably still hovering around like 200. But the real like change in my aesthetic, I still didn't really notice that much difference in my aesthetic. You know, it didn't become super apparent until, you know, it was the combination of the three. You know, and then it just, the gains they're like parabolic at that point. Now, when you can do a combination of the three, which we all want that, we all want 10 baggers. That's it. So yeah, if we can figure out a way to expedite the gains, then why wouldn't we? So
Literally, bro. It's so true. I think we were talking about this last week, but it's like at some point when you're doing all the right things, right, you're setting the habits, it's kind of like your phone. I keep a little timer in here. I don't know why it started going off. That's like when I'm reading, I'll just set that timer. And,
oh, there you go.
it's kind of like when you're doing all the right things, it's kind of like you're building this root system underground, right? So you know you're doing the right things. Sometimes you might not see like those explosive fruits right away,
For sure.
but you're laying the groundwork. You're doing all those habits. It's like kind of like bamboo. It grows underground, like these expansive tunnels and root system, and then all of a sudden it just bursts above ground, like shoots up like crazy super quick. Kind of like pretty similar, right? Where it's like, okay, I started building some good nutrition habits. Okay, then we started together, and like you really started dialing in on the training, right? And then you started 75 card, and you started doing the cardio. So it's like you were building these habits on these roots for so long, and then all of a sudden it felt like it was overnight. But then all of a sudden you start seeing like these you know, start seeing your abs in the mirror and stuff.
Yeah, it's true. It's like another thing too. It's like, you know, over time, sprinkling in the habits instead of trying to go from all the bad habits to trying to, you know, just overnight cold turkey and change everything. I've tried that in the past, and I failed every time I tried to do that. Where I'm like, I know I need to change this, and that, and then just trying to stop everything and kind of do all the good habits, going from 0 days a week in the gym, or even 1 day a week in the gym, to 5-6 days a week in the gym, eating chicken, rice, and broccoli every single day, from eating whatever I want, like Burger King or whatever, just is not consistent. There might be some people that can do it that way. For me personally, I failed that way multiple times.
Yeah, makes sense.
It was just, I had to, you know, slowly add in the habits to where
It felt organic and
yeah, it was 100% organic. And it's like, you know, I wouldn't have been able to go from where I was at 220, you know, drinking, partying, eating whatever I wanted,
doing
to
75 hard.
no chance. Yeah, I would have fell flat on my face.
Yeah.
So it's when I add those good habits to where I was like, okay, I know I can 100% succeed at finishing 75 hard and doing it. And now, like we talked about, now I can even step it up to another level.
Such a good perspective. So do you feel like people that are maybe in the same shoes that you were, like at square zero, like really have tons of bad habits, do you think that they should adjust their expectations a little bit on like, hey, how long is this going to take? Or, you know, how extensive is the process going to be? Like what time frame do you feel like somebody that is in your shoes should really like have in their mind of when they're going to actually start feeling that body and mind transformation?
I think that everybody's journey is going to be a little bit different. Like, you know, you can't just look at somebody who had incredible progress over 2-3 months and you look at what you've been doing and you've been doing everything right and you don't see that same progress as like, you know, a failure to yourself. You know, it's like atomic habits, right? It's getting 1% better every single day.
Yeah.
At whatever that is. If you can, you know, let's say you're doing one more set in the gym, or, you know, you're dialing in your diet a little bit more every single day until you can get to that point to where, you know, you're 100% better than you were, or 200% better than you were. So, but it starts at 1% a day.
I love that, Earl. So true, because you could see, like, it's hard because like a little snapshot that you see on Instagram that's like 16 weeks and you see somebody that was like super out of shape and then they're like 6-pack shredded. You never know how realistic some of those transformations are. One, a lot of like the picture doesn't tell the whole story. It could be like just a crazy lighting difference. There's a lot of people that sometimes in before pictures, they might just like actually like be super bad lighting or look a lot more out of shape. And then after pictures, like great lighting. So you can't have these false expectations of your mind of, okay, I need to be here by this time. Exactly like Austin was saying, just slowly being the best version of you, detaching yourself from having to be somewhere at a certain, like having to have this amount of results by this time frame, and more so being like, I'm going to really focus on the process and I can trust that I'm going to start to see the outcome. Not to say like what we were talking about earlier, where like having obviously a time frame in mind of like to get yourself committed is super good, but not having an expectation in your mind of like, I have to have X result because this other person did it. Does that make sense?
I didn't set that like date and timeline until I was probably like 7 or 8 months into creating better habits. And then I was like, okay, this is the day that I like really need to go super hard and get super dialed.
Yeah.
So, you know, you're 100% right. It was like, you know, it was slowly becoming the better version of myself until I was able to set that date for myself.
Freaking love that for you, dude. All right.
My OPV, it's giving me a warning, so you might want to make it like, wait.
All right, wait. Oh, what's the overheating? The camera?
Yeah.
Oh, shoot.
Being out here
That's not good.
says that some sun.
Yeah. All right.
I literally feel like 1 minute, so you might want to.
All right, do you want to just do an outro? All right, guys, the camera is overheating, but shout out to my guy, Austin. Dude, freaking pleasure, bro. This man has one of the craziest transformations that I've honestly ever seen in my entire career as a coach. Not just physical, but mental and spiritual. So big shout out to my guy, Austin. Go follow this man on Instagram, Life of Highs.
Thanks.
I'm going to shout him out. I'm dropping his Instagram right here on the screen.
Let's go.
Austin, do you want to say anything? What do you think somebody watching this, if they're in the same shoes that you were, do you think they should take a step forward and commit to the healthy lifestyle and just be a better version themselves?
100%. If it's not for, you know, something else or a greater why of why you have, you do it for yourself. You just take that first step and you never know where it can take you. So, you know, but this is just the beginning. So
Hell yeah. We're going to get another lift in like 6 months once Austin is totally peeled.
Yeah,
Just to steer that into existence.
let's go.
Always raising the standard for my guy.
Let's go.
Thank you so much, bro.
Yeah.
Thank you to everybody watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.